So my name is Balázs Farkas and I'm one of the co-owners of Green Aqua, which is an aquascaping company, an aquarium-related little venture that we funded with two of my friends 10 years ago.
My name is Juris Jutjajevs. I'm a professional aquascaper. I do set up aquariums and maintain them for a living. I also take care of the social media channels of tropical aquarium plants.
Aquascaping is kind of a nerd stuff.
It is like a slice of underwater nature.
It's vibrantly lit, it's very appealing.
Everything is super clean, super healthy.
It looks much better basically than a flat screen TV right next to it.
Takashi Amano is like the godfather of aquascaping, of nature aquarium concept.
He came up with this stunning concept of having fish, plants and hardscape together in a stunning, beautifully lit, lush environment.
He basically reinvented the planted aquarium hobby. I would say before Takashi Amano, planted tanks looked like one plant here, another plant there, maybe some artificial things in between.
You can do like average tanks, but if you kind of plan it and if you approach it like an art, it's going to become an art.
So when I for the first time discovered his work, I was just blown away. I couldn't imagine at this time that something this beautiful is possible inside an aquarium. So I started soaking up all the information I could find on the internet, in prints, in magazines, in books. I started learning as much as I possibly could.
I liked aquascaping, not aquascaping, but aquariums in general, since my childhood. I had tanks when I was like 10 years old. I was the biggest fish keeper in the city. I don't know, I had 400 liters.
I still remember when I asked in some shops for advice based on some of the aquariums that I've seen made by Takashi Amano. The feedback that I received was, oh, it's impossible, forget about it. But I thought that can't be impossible because there is so much out there. It seems like people, they are already practicing it, like it's out there, it's just, not everybody knows about it.
Well, we started from scratch, from zero, with my friends Victor and Attila, and we funded Green Aqua with basically nothing.
There were no YouTubers teaching aquascaping, there were no German magazines teaching aquascaping. All the information, it was just very little information available on the internet, was in English language. My English wasn't any good back then. I've been using Google Translate, trying to read everything to understand. We
funded this web shop and we said, okay, let's try to do this because we found that people need beautiful aquarium-related stuff that would help them to enable to do this. We started actually writing articles for my friend Attila. He had run a blog.
The switch from a hobbyist to a professional aquascaper has happened during a period when I was very busy working in a corporate environment, very long working days.
I started to work for film first, and that was really good. I worked in like Michael Jackson videos, and I was double for Dave from Depeche Mode. We shot a clip and he went back to the hotel and they were looking for somebody who was the same height, and they gave a wig to me and I was like walking with these Polish models on the mat.
Keeping that planted tank at home was my little piece of quiet and harmony where I could trim the plants and take care of my little perfect world that would calm me down after a very long and stressful working day.
Then I started working for TV, and that kind of fulfilled me after a time because I really liked the way that I can operate multiple cameras, and I got bigger and bigger productions, and hundreds of crew members were working with me. We did big productions, we did Formula One, we did big shows. I did a lot of sports as well, and I liked the fast pace of it.
I was faced with some difficulties in that corporate environment, and I decided to make a change, to leave it, to go and start to study something, just make a switch, go into a different direction.
I could talk to people, they knew exactly what I'm doing. I felt like I'm contributing in some way. But then after 20 years of doing it, I think it tops somewhere, and I don't like to do things in my life that have a top.
I can say my career as aquascaper almost kind of skyrocket started so quickly that I was doing more aquascaping stuff than taking lessons at the university, and it was very difficult for me because I really wanted to study. Also, there was the conflict with my parents. They really wanted me to study, so I get this academic degree, but I wasn't feeling there is a need for it.
I worked in the Olympics. We did the fencing at the Olympics in London a couple of years ago as a director. So what else can I do in sports that bigger than the Olympics? And is the Olympics really mine? Is it something that I created?
There was a fight inside of me where I thought I have to do it because I tried to fulfill someone else's expectations. But at the same time, I was doing something I was enjoying, I was good at it, I was successful, and it was paying my bills. So if you are in a situation like this, you ask yourself, what do I need this degree, that piece of paper for? What is it going to change?
I wanted to do something that is me, so it reflects what I think about life and things in general.
I decided to drop out of the university, and I've been aquascaping anyway already full-time at that moment, and the full focus went on it.
And people kept asking us, okay, so where do you buy this stuff? And then we kept directing them towards other shops. And then after some time we thought that, okay, we need to help people get that stuff locally, so we need to do something about that. Obviously we didn't have money for a big shop, so we funded a web shop and we worked on that and we discussed the details, and then it grew from there, from nothing. And one day after the other it got bigger and bigger and bigger until a time where it needed my full attention. So I just realized, I woke up one day literally and I realized I cannot do TV anymore, I cannot do film anymore, because there are people who need my attention, who need my IQ, who need my assistance. So I started, basically started giving up on all the productions that I had, and I just kept one production for one more year, and then I gave that up as well.
I grew up with this idea in mind that everything has to follow one perfect path, where you elementary school, then next step, university, then you start a job and you probably stay there like for 30-40 years before you retire. So that's kind of classic idea that I had, that I grew up with, that was probably programmed into my head. And it was kind of a process to realize myself that I don't really need it.
And I'm a very risk-taking kind of person, so as soon as I see an opportunity in something, I'm going to take it. I'm an ENTJ type. I don't know if you're familiar with the Briggs-Meyer categories. An ENTJ is the commander type, and the N thing indicates the intuitive side of a personality. And the intuitive type of people will always look at the goal and never care about what's going to take to reach that goal. So whatever I see something, I just want to go there. And people keep explaining to me, but Balázs, you cannot do this because of this and that and that. And I see those arguments fully, so I'm not a stupid guy, but I don't care. Because I know that when I'm going to go for it, it should be cool. If not, I'm just going to take another path.
There are some moments when, what I'm doing now becomes stressful. There are long days of work sometimes involved. Sometimes there are also some problems that need to be overcome, but I think that's gonna be in every business. And I think in life you always need the dark or the black days, so when there is a nice day, you know it is a nice day.
What I learned from the very beginning is that the fears are in you, and nobody actually forces you to fear something. So the fear is not real. The fear is the reaction to something that you don't know.
Thinking back, when I made the decision to leave that corporate environment, to drop out of the university and just focus on my career, the worst that would have happened, I wouldn't have had success. I would have returned to my parents' place for like a limited period of time until I would have found a new place in the corporate world, and then I would have just continued working from there. So it's like, I don't know, maybe a couple of months or half a year wasted. But if you think of your entire life of happiness, that's like nothing.
Maybe your parents told you that you gotta have 2 jobs in order to be safe, because if you lose one job, you still have the other. So please work 16 hours a day and not have a family or a life. So that's what they want you to be, safe. But that's something that is coming from the outside.
Everyone should take some time and find his passion in life instead of being afraid of I don't know, losing the job, because I think there's so many opportunities out there nowadays.
Next for me is making more beautiful films, because I found a clever way to combine my filmmaking past with aquascaping. I don't know how I did that.
I would like in future to focus more on my own business and my own company, to just build up an aquascaping university or academy.
I can create aquariums and I can also create YouTube videos at the same time, like cinematic videos at the same time. So I'm just trying to push this little channel further and to make it more popular and to grow as an aquascaper and to grow as a filmmaker at the same time.
So I would like to structure all this information and to provide it in one single place where people can go to as a single one place where they can learn everything about aquascaping. So I think working on something like this is going to be my next big thing.